my people, I want you to understand and know the time. It's time that we are accepted and respected by both man and mankind. You know, the scripture says that God would choose those that are despised and rejected. And we have been that and cast aside. No one wanted us, and no one cared for us. And the worst thing about it, we never cared for ourselves. Oh, but brothers and sisters, it's time now that we fall in love with ourselves and with each other. This world has robbed us of a true guide, but it's time to unite and fight hard for unity. Brothers and sisters, we must live for each other and die for each other, because that's the only way that we're gonna know the meaning of what it is to be free. Then we'll conquer fear and wipe away all our tears. That's the benefit of our unity. Oh my people, it is written that in the last days God would come after that sheep that was lost. And he has come today and he has given us Elijah, a man to show us the way out of the ditch of hell. So up you, mighty nation, you know you can accomplish anything that you will. So come on, let's rise again. Yes, let us build again. As our fathers built the pyramid and the Sphinx and all of the great ancient wonders, let's rise again and build as our fathers used to do. Come on, let's unite and strive with all our might. Oh, let's fight hard for unity. Brothers and sisters, we must learn to live for each other and die for each other, because that's the only way we're going to know the joy of being free. Then we'll conquer fear and wipe away all our tears. That's the benefit of our unity. Come on, black men, rise again and build rise again. The basis of unity is love. When we love each other, we come into unity with each other. And when we're in unity, we have the strength and the power to overcome all obstacles in the pathway of our freedom. Yes, brothers and sisters, this is the benefit of our unity. Come on, black men, rise again. Come on, let's build again. You
Benefit of unity. Ready for revolution. Brother Eric Ture Muhammad here. Pray all is well with you and yours on this delightful morning here in the U.S. It's now just after 8 a.m. on a Thursday. I had to think about it because when you hit that mark in freedom, which many of you experience right now, you don't necessarily know what day it is. You don't necessarily know what time it is. You just go with the flow because freedom affords you certain liberties that you don't generally have, in everyday life or lifestyle. Okay. So let us move forward with what we intend to offer you today. And we're going to do that by sharing with you the fact that we are looking to establish how to establish an effective routine, organizing an effective routine. And we want to get into the mindset for that in order to make that happen. So
there are two different schools of thought when it comes down to opportunities. There's one community. These are a lot of motivational speakers that'll say things like, if you missed out on an opportunity, don't worry about it. Life is abundant with a number of opportunities. Another one's around the corner. It's like missing the bus. If you miss 3:30s around the corner, it's going to be all right. Don't stress out about it. That's one community. Here's the other community. You ready? This other community says, in your lifetime, you're probably going to get a couple big opportunities that are going to present themselves. Could be a meeting, could be a sit down, could be a interaction with somebody that you could impress the person, where the person goes back and says, I want to do some kind of business with you. That one opportunity could completely change your life. Don't screw it up. Be prepared for it. That's one school of thought. Who is right? I'm going to tell you a story here. It's 2012-2013 NBA season. The Miami Heat are facing off the Pacers. That year, the Pacers were very strong. They had a strong center, Hibbert, and they're going against each other. Miami has LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and this is a good matchup. They go in the playoffs. Game 1, Miami against the Pacers. There's only 2.2 seconds left on the shot clock. Pacers are ahead, 102-101. The game is in Miami. If Pacers win, this is a big statement to the world. And it hurts Miami because they beat them in their home. What happens with 2.2 seconds left? The coach, I know this because he's a Laker coach, not Vogel, decides to take Hibbert out. He sits him down. I'm like, what are you doing? This guy's playing incredible defense. You got to keep him in. He takes him out. Inbound pass to who? LeBron James. By the free throw line. LeBron turns around, goes in for the left-handed layup with 0 left on the shot clock. They win the game. Everybody's jumping all over the place. Afterwards, commentators are talking, and everybody says, wow, this sometimes happens, but they got to come back, and this one you got to be mentally tough, and this one you got to, and I bet the coach in the locker room, he's probably saying this. What do you think the coach is saying in the locker room? We're going to be all right. We can make the recovery. Kenny Smith turns around, who's a 2-time champion with the Houston Rockets, with Akeem Olajuwon. He says the following thing here. He says, I don't know if I agree with you guys. So what do you mean? I just don't agree with you. Why not? He says, look, to assume that you're going to go back to the finals again, it's very naive. He says, I have a lot of friends that I played basketball with for a long time, great basketball players. And they had a chance one time to go to the finals and win, and they didn't. And they thought they were going to go back, and many times they never, ever went to the finals ever again, and they never got a chip. And the name of the game is getting a chip. Never went back again. I sat there and I'm listening to Kenny saying, wow, pretty powerful statement. A little bit demoralizing. Not the most optimistic statement you want to hear. But guess what happened? They never went to the championship ever again. And they could have that series. They actually could have won to the championship. We could today be saying that the Pacers were a one-time champion during that time, and LeBron would have only had 2 rings instead of his 3. But what happened? They choked. They didn't make the right decision. The opportunity presented itself. They didn't make the right decision. How does this apply to you and I? These weird times that we're living in with the coronavirus and the pandemic, these are very weird times. There's going to be a very small community of people, I guarantee you, that are sitting around saying, I don't know why I'm optimistic about something good happening for me around the corner. Everybody's telling me it's the end of the world. Zombies going to be running out here soon. Apocalypse, Armageddon, whatever you want to call it. All these videos going viral and posing so much fear. I think everything's going to be all right, okay? That small community, post-pandemic, a crazy opportunity is going to present itself to them. And they're going to capitalize. But it's also going to be majority of people in the world who during these times are going to get softer. They're going to get casual. They're going to pick up bad habits. They're going to watch so much TV. They're probably going to put on 5 to 10% of their body weight, gaining 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds of weight. Just get a little bit more, casual with their energy. And that opportunity is also going to present itself to those people, but they're not going to be ready for it. My challenge to you is don't take these times lightly and get caught and glued to the TV, watching every other news as if you have any major influence to be able to slow this thing down, unless if you're somebody that's directly working with pharma or directly working with scientists or Fauci or the president. Unless if you're somebody involved with helping come up with the cure, keep at it. Study every single thing that's going on. But if you're not, this is a very good time to recreate yourself. So when that great opportunity presents itself, you capitalize.
That's right, family. Capitalize. The opportunity has absolutely presented itself for a recreation. Okay. And so now we're talking to you today about organization, how to effectively organize. All right. And in order to understand that, I want us to understand the fact that everything requires a routine, everything. So to get the desired result. All right. So you might be a person who has a desire, a dream to be a great chef. All right. Well, there's preparation involved with that feeds the desire. There's determination that's involved with that to keep you on track. And then the eventuality, the discipline has to be there in order to reach the eventuality. So in every aspect of it, there are 4 Ds that I always talk about: the dream, the desire, the determination, and the discipline. That's a formula that can generically fit every activity in life. Even a person who means ill, following those patterns will yield the success that illness brings. Okay, so understand that organizing an effective routine comes with parameters by which I think all of us can benefit from. So I appreciate the time that you're offering here this morning. I don't take it lightly. Someone asked me early, and I was talking to one of my business partners, Sister Linda Muhammad. She said, I said to her, I said, you know why these sessions at 8 a.m.? I said, because at 8 a.m., the people who are tuning at 8 a.m. are the people who are serious about the business. There are times where I'll get with our mentors, and our mentors will do programming at 11 p.m. at night. Sometimes Mr. Best will come on at 2 a.m. And who's he going to attract? Not just those who have insomnia, but he'll attract people who are serious about the undertaking that you found serious. All right. So it's about frequency. All right. It's about frequency. In other words, what you do every day matters more than what I do once in a while. Okay. You got to look at it from that vantage point. What you do every day must matter. It must matter. And frequency makes starting each activity easier. All right. Working every day will keep momentum, and your projects maintain freshness. Fresh fire forever, right? Okay. Frequency sparks creativity, and creativity is defined as a constant churning of ideas. So I'm sharing this with you this morning, and it's coming from a certain vein because I come from a lineage of organization. A lineage of organization. All of us do, but we don't tap into it. What I'm trying to share with you this morning is there's nothing that I can give you that you don't already have. All we're doing is trying to spark the awareness in you, the individual, to make things happen for yourself in the way that you are most desirous of. Because it all starts with you. It starts with yourself. How to make things happen in the way they need to. It really starts with you. All right. So you see there in the picture, that's my Baba Kwame Ture, and he's there sitting pictured with the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Many people don't know, but his very first, I'm talking about Stokely Carmichael at the time, his very first assignment as a part of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, as chairman of the committee, he beat out John Lewis in a series of votes. He was made on his first assignment, to travel to Chicago to sit and meet with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That is profound, the thinking of the youth. Okay. And, where we don't understand direction of where our young are going today, I want you to look at it this way. There are many of you who were, as mothers, saw some things that challenged you. And here you were carrying child, or you might have had children already in the home. But there wasn't a moment during that gestation process where you weren't desirous of a better future for the child you were bringing into the world. You might have said, God, dear God, please help us cure cancer. Dear God, help us find a way out of poverty, out of strife. Help us to make a difference in the world. Help my baby to be X, Y, and Z. All those prayers, they didn't just go out in a vacuum anywhere. You literally prayed for and programmed that child to do what? To be different, to be consequential. See, so when the child now comes into the world, that child is now in the world, and we don't understand what we called for. I don't know why you're acting like that. I don't know what's gotten into you. Why don't you want to go to school? Why can't you keep a job? Why is it that you don't want to do X, Y, and Z? All those things come into play because you're dealing with a birth, a hope, a prayer that you called for. You did. So you see pictured there, that was the first desire of the young. The Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee were an outgrowth of SLC and the mentorship of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Okay. And there's a difference between mobilization and organization. And this is what we grow into. All right. So Kwame Ture sits with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was so smitten, for lack of a better word, over the brilliance of Stokely Carmichael. He declared to the Nation of Islam that Stokely Carmichael was his FOI, and everywhere he went in the world, an FOI should be with him. That's a fact. There you see pictured also is my relationship, or a picture of my with myself and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It doesn't tell you the relationship. It just tells you we took a picture, but we have a relationship. Here we are over 40 years together in this work, helping to build a new reality for humanity. And then next to him is the dream chaser himself. That's myself and Mr. Tyrone Best. Okay. He is the ultimate dream chaser. He's helping us to navigate through a jungle of non-dreamers. He is an author of, he's an author of several books, but the one that's out and currently available is the Dream Chaser Manifesto. What is it about Mr. Best that is so striking and so revealing? The fact that he knows and understands that it all begins with a dream. It all begins with the dream. You see, where are you right now? Where do you desire to be? What do you hope for? All of those things are questions that are related to a dream. And once your dream is there, once you realize that you have something that you're striving for, you get busy. You get to moving. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. And then the premier organizer in my life is my wife. That's Falami Muhammad. That sister organizes as a mother. She organizes as a wife. She organizes as a friend. She organizes as a love. She organizes and disciplines me in a way that helps me to stay a part of my grind to be successful. And the reason why I share this in this context, see, when you go to people with an opportunity, such as building wealth, to a people who aren't accustomed to it, or people who aren't accustomed to knowing you for the opportunity, then a lot of times when you as an individual come, they see a salesperson. But when they see a couple or a husband and wife come, they see a family. And that really knocks down all the preconceived notions. It knocks down barriers. It knocks down, it puts away false fights. It's a powerful thing when you have a family working together. Okay. Very powerful thing. So what I want you to understand that you must develop your organizational skill sets. It will power you to your success. And there's a great difference between organization versus mobilization. Example, the March on Washington under Dr. King in 1963 was a mobilization. It was a mobilization because it was a call to people to bring people to a space. And even though the tenets of that movement or that event were articulated, it didn't move people into activity beyond being there on a consistent, systematic basis. See, in your mobilization, it's a call. In your mobilization, it's a rallying point. But in your organization, it's a respect of system. Mobilization doesn't carry systems. Organization carries systems. And you have to have a system for yourself in order to be what you intend to be. I want to be a wealth builder. Well, why do I want to be a wealth builder? Okay, so how do I put myself in position to be a wealth builder? What do I need in order to achieve being a wealth builder? All those questions are related to a system. A system, folks. We have to develop systems. Okay. So, first step in this, I want you to understand your dream, your vision. You have to make it so clear to yourself that your fears become irrelevant. It has to be so consistent to yourself that your fears become irrelevant. What does that mean? It means whatever you see in self-ridicule, whatever you manifest in doubt, whatever you manifest in procrastination can erode a process by which you grow into your reality, when you grow into your dream, when you grow into that manner of success. But in order to grow, you have to go. There's a woman who I used to work with when I was in hospitality some years ago, and she said, Joanne Earhart, out there in San Francisco. This woman said to me when she was leaving Atlanta to take this new position out there, a big wig in the hotel industry at the time. She said, Eric, understand this. Sometimes you have to go to grow. I said, what? She said, if you want to grow, sometimes you just got to go. And when we saw each other in the last few days before she left, she always said, grow to go, grow to go, grow to go. And she literally willed herself into that travel, willed herself into an opportunity, thus achieving the success that she desired at the time. You have to make your vision so clear to yourself that your fears become irrelevant. There's three phases. We all talk about there's three phases to opportunity. Three phases that you're going to experience as long as you have a system. Number one, you're going to experience ridicule. Ridicule is part and parcel of the process. All right. Various reasons. One, because you might be in a circle that doesn't speak to your objective. You want to make $1 million? You're going to have to find yourself divorced from the nickel and dime arena. You have to get around the people who are $1 million makers, $1 million achievers. That's just fact. You're going to find yourself still loving Pookie and Nook and them, Paulie and Sal and Rebecca and Joy. You're going to find yourself still in love with them. However, your operation, your mode of operandi dictates that you're somewhere else until they realize where you are. That's how it works. You know, you're going to find yourself aligning yourself with people that are of like minds, that are on the same road, that are going in the same path. Why? Because your duplication comes from those who are ahead of you that have done it already, that have done it before, that already know the road. And as a result, it encourages and feeds your promise. So ridicule, that's one aspect of it, divorcing yourself from a circle to grow into the other. Ridicule because you self-doubt. There's two things that arise. The moment the idea comes, the doubt comes. Man, I can do so and so and such. Man, you'll never do that. You've never done it before. See, it automatically happens. It's that duality in self. But how you overcome it, how you kill the noise, as Dr. Dominic Curry says, how you kill that noise, you simply put yourself in the mindset that allows you to outpace your fears. Your vision can outpace your fears to the point that your fear becomes irrelevant. Okay? So, what dictates an effective routine? An effective routine combines thought, or rather time first. Time, thought, craft, and persistence. An effective routine provides creative work. It provides, it prioritizes for you your personal needs. It offers building blocks which involve your energy, and it triggers, provides associated triggers. All right. How do you get there? The number one problem. Today's session will home in on the number one problem. I got to look at what I wrote. Okay. Then execute solutions. Number one, do not handle other people's priorities before your own. That's a tough one, because generally we don't think enough of ourselves to make that happen. But you got to put yourself in a position where you do not handle other people's priorities before your own. Why? Because you're helping others accomplish for themselves what you should be accomplishing for yourself. You're helping them build their base, but you have to build one for yourself. You have to know where you're going. You have to understand your direction. Do not handle other people's priorities before your own. It's not serving your interest in accomplishing your dream. Develop the willpower to shut off the world. You hear our mentors say often, and I say it a lot, and that's don't watch the news. Now, I write for media. I write for a news organization, the Final Call newspaper published by the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. I'm a contributing writer, and I appear every now and again in these publications. Okay? But there's a difference between that publication and mass media. Mass media will give you a collective of the same thought, a collective of the same desire to influence. And your influence in today's media, mayhem, death, crime, devastation, destruction, calamities, you name it. Everything but goodness or focus or anything productive to start your day. Oh, and weather. Listen. In order to take successful control of your day, your thought patterns, you must be willing to turn the television off. There's a reason why it's known as the boob tube. There's a reason why it's known as the lie vision. There's a reason why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad referred to it as the one-eyed monster. He called it the one-eyed monster because you're looking at it. It's not looking at you. He called it a one-eyed monster because you can talk to the screen, but the screen ain't hearing you. The screen's just showing you what it wants you to see. Look at us. Some of us watch sports and we be like, go, 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 rallying our person to get across the goal or the line, and they get tackled. And you say, oh man, you shouldn't have done it like that. If you had just cut to your left, follow the hole, and this so and so and so, do you think that person hears you? Do you understand that play is over? So, it's a one-eyed monster. So I subscribe to the understanding that if the news is bad enough, my friends will tell me. So I create a whole nother type of focus in my psyche, in my mindset. So I shut the world off to develop the reality I desire. See, dream, desire. That's the next step in the dream. You desire it. So now you're actively seeking those ways by which to bring it into reality. Now you're getting there. What do you have to do? Man, you have to shut the world off because everyone does not have your intentions. You have to learn how to create and execute the ultimate to-do list. The ultimate to-do list, and then you create time chunks of success. All right? Time chunks of success. Those are the things that you do in that process. Now, learn the difference between creative work and reactive work. This is school today. This is classroom. Class is in session today. All right. I hope you got pen and paper, but then you can also go back and find this on my YouTube channel, Eric Ture Muhammad. It'll be here on the Facebook stream for, I guess, a number of days or so. And you can save it for yourself, share it with other people. But look, the difference between creative work and reactive work are those disruptions you allow to take place that take you out of your creative zone. Reactive work, okay? Not systematic, but reactive work. All right, I'm on the phone. I'm calling my prospects. I'm making sure X, Y, and Z gets out. Oh, but wait. There's a knock at the door. And you go to your door, and then you find someone engaged in conversation, and you might throw on your jacket and go out, and your systematic work stays in the system. Okay? Reactive work are those disruptions you allow to take you out of your creative zone, such as cell phones and emails. These are chief procrastinators. Look, I get roughly, no exaggeration, I would say now about 300 emails a day still. And most people are texting in the world. And I get close to 300 emails a day. I had to petition and organize those which are important enough for me to be aware of so I can readily get to them when I create the time to get to them. All right. But I used to get up and go to the email, and I'll be looking through hundreds of them. And before you know it, that 8 o'clock has turned into 10:30 because I'm reading each one. Some I only have to respond to. I'll just, oh, that looks nice. I'll click that link and go see what they have on sale. Oh, that looks interesting. I'll click that link. You see? But how did I use the time to be productive? How did I use that time to produce activity or encourage activity? Okay? Procrastination will kill you. A cell phone. Look, some of you have not been able to reach me by cell phone at certain hours of the night anymore. I used to be that brother that you called any time of day, and I'm answering that phone. I was even answering the phone when I was in the middle of doing something important. Why? Because the phone is addictive. It's addictive. What makes the phone so addictive? Well, it robs you of your own consciousness. What you hear what I'm saying? Now, it's a necessary tool. Don't get me wrong. Demographics, times have changed, but it has made me personally a dummy. I know we call it a smartphone, but I'm dumb as heck. I used to call out numbers right off the top of my head. You know, hey, what's Beverly's number? What's this one's number? What's that one's number? No problem. I can call it out, and people say, darn, man, he's good with it. He got a great memory. Now, if I want to know what Maurice's number is or Stephanie's number is, I got to look for the S's, and I got to scroll. I got to scroll to find it. Sister Connie, I would love to say I remember you and Darren's phone numbers, but I got to scroll to find it. You know? So what happened? When I realized this, and how I realized it came through my organizing partner, my wife. Falami had a session that she was conducting for some students. She's an educator. and she had an online session she was conducting for them, right? So mind you, I'm in my little world. I'm back in the room, in my bedroom, sitting on the bed, literally going through the phone, texting, looking at Facebook, watching timelines, going to Instagram, doing YouTube stuff. Nothing that was income producing or asset producing. My wife was involved in an income producing activity. So I'm texting her because I'm also lazy at this point. Put on a few pounds, wondering what's going on in the kitchen. I'm nowhere near it, you know? So I'm texting. She's not responding. So now I'm feeling ignored. I'm feeling a certain kind of way. How dare they not respond to the great me? So when I get up off the bed and I clean myself up and I throw on proper clothing to come down to see where everyone is and what's going on, I'm texting again. This time, as I text, I hear a chirp. And I text again and I hear another chirp. She never had a phone with her. Her phone was left in the bedroom while she was out and handling her income producing activity. Focus. When I saw that, I don't know why that one thing did it, but it woke me up. And so I realized how much of a distraction it is to get proper rest. You need proper rest. Now, I can't determine how long it is for you. Mr. Muhammad taught and trained us 2 to 4 hours sleep. You can run like all day, every day, you know. But as long as I had that phone near, I didn't really sleep. When I would go to sleep, I'd wake up and just grab the phone and start scrolling through it, killing off all the time, allowing my body to re-energize, to reinvigorate itself. So I had to learn how to do that. I had to learn how to get the cell phone out the way, the text message out the way, the emails out the way. I had to cut them off at the appropriate time. And the appropriate time is whatever you deem appropriate. Okay? So, successful solutions. Create time chunks of success, meaning establish hard edges in your days. Ooh. Have set start and finish times for different activities in your day. So, what are the activities? Well, your activity involves, carve out something for creative work, meetings, correspondence, administrative, right? But in our world of saving gold, telling people, making money, the time that you carve out should be time that creates massive action. All right. So there's a part of the day, and I'm just sharing this with you. And I appreciate the time that you all are allowing me to do this. It won't be much longer, but there are times in the day that I will not engage people in conversation. All right. During a certain block of time every day, 10:45 a.m. to roughly 1 p.m., you generally will not find me unless you're on the power call or you're part of the 12 noon presentation on goldrocks.info. Otherwise, you're not reaching me. Okay? Those are the part of the days. They're not asset producing, but they feed my creative work. They feed my creative desires because I gain motivation, I gain encouragement, I hear the congrats and the rewarding of others. I hear tenets or nuggets that allow me to move further with my activity. And I don't let anything get in the way of that. All right. However, there's a part of the day where I create additional hard edges. And that hard edge, it might be a 2 to 4 p.m. I'm just throwing this out there. I'm not trying to give you hours, all right, where you can find me. But let's say, what do I do between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m.? Well, if today is Thursday and I got 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., what am I doing inside that time? Well, I'm prospecting. I'm offering invites when I prospect. I give presentations to those who accept them. And then I talk to them about coming to the opportunity with 3-way calls. That's what I do in my world. I make sure to do those things. Why? Those are asset and income producing activities. Those are the activities that when you're organized, you benefit from. You absolutely benefit from. But organization is the key. Okay? Have set start and finish times. Those are hard edges. And do not deviate from them. Because if you don't deviate from them day by day, you'll see more measured success. In fact, it goes back to what we said about frequency. Frequency allows you to start the next day or the next session or the next hour easier every day because you're not starting over from the beginning. You are literally moving in the path or direction that you've dictated for yourself, which brings another point in that conversation. Okay. How do you create the mindset to do what you need? When do you carve out time for that massive action that we talked about? The massive action comes as you fed your belief system. And your belief system fuels your attitude. And it creates the posture by which, in those hard-edged times, you're able to move in the way that you need to without deviation. Okay? So when I decide at that 2 o'clock hour, I'm going to prospect, I'm going to invite, I'm going to present, I'm going to do three-way calling or connect people together. Is that the time where I start organizing my desk? Spraying the dust off my keyboard, wiping down my screen. Is that the time where I organize all the books and materials that I work with and stack them up nice and neat? Is that the time where I go get coffee, water, and tea? Better not be if you're on Ramadan during the daylight hours. So what is it that when is that time? That time is not during the hard edges you provided yourself. It doesn't happen then. It happens all before then. This is called background building. I don't watch the TV, but I will listen to TD Jakes. I will listen to Bet David, who you heard earlier, talking about seizing the moment. I will listen to Bishop Dale Bronner. I'll listen to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I'll listen to Mr. Ty Best or Michael L. Dalco, or I'll replay the training that Miss Tanisha Glaspie did last night. That was fire. There are things that I'll do to feed my mind as I might be starting the morning out, preparing, running in the, we're under closed, what do you call this? Quarantine? Is that what you call it? I might be running in place as opposed to running outside because I don't want to put a mask on. So I might be running in place, but in running in place, I'm listening to audio books. I have CDs playing that fuel the belief that create the attitude, right? But the problem, number one problem is with playing television news day in and day out. You start your morning with doom and gloom. It's hard to get a great jump on your day. It's rougher. It's harder to get your day moving because you created a bunch of sludge that lays on your psychic, and you had to get between all that. You got enough to get between here as it is in order to move, right? In order to function correctly. So now you've added to it, and now you need a jackhammer almost to chisel this stuff out your way. But you do that in the early morning. You're going home with your day. You start off sluggish. You're not as productive as you could have been. But then how do you close out your evening? Before you get to the close of the evening, you might turn on the news again around 4:30, 5:30, 6 p.m. Why? It's the same thing you heard at 7, 8, or 9. It's just an advance of hours, but it's not an advance of, there's no growth in it for you. And then you got doom and gloom at the AM, doom and gloom in the mid-afternoon or evening. And then before you close the night, you turn on the 10, 11 o'clock news. And what are you doing? You're going to sleep with this stuff on your mind. Have all kind of crazy dreams you can't explain. And then you start your day off again with boom, more doom and gloom. Stop it. Create the environment around you in your psychic. Shut off the world, kill the noise, and produce an environment of production, of desire. Some of us go to use the technology to do it. Some of us go to YouTube and get those affirmation clips, and they play them, and they always talk about, yeah, play this while you sleep. You better listen to it first. You might be programming yourself to do something in an entirely different direction. Okay. But create the environment. You understand. All right. Now, identify the times that you have the most energy. Because in those times you have the most energy, that's where you take massive action. That's how you prioritize your day. I know in the previous slide, we talked about how you carve out time for administrative work, meetings, and da 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 da. That's my Carlito impersonation of sound effects. You know, da 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 da. Right? You carve out those things, but those things aren't done when you have the max energy. What's done in the max energy is the thing that matters most in your day. All of it matters, but you prioritize. So if you know that you have the most energy to accomplish at a certain point in the day, then when you've identified those times in the day, that's the time you take massive action. Why? Because you'll be relentless at it. You'll be systematic about it, and it will yield the proper result. You'll get the proper comeback of energy. You put it out there properly, it's going to come right back to you. It's going to reward you. Do not schedule meetings during those times that waste your time. Don't use that time where you have all the energy now to do administrative work. You're shooting yourself in the foot. You're defeating your own purpose. Create association triggers. That's what I was talking about with background noise. I was trying to get that together. The ambiance you create. Everything in your workspace should reflect the work that you intend to do. It should reflect the work where it's prepared and ready for that time you have the most energy in your day to take massive action. That should already be in place. You create that kind of environment as you create your background. That's how it works. That's how it works. That's right, Brother Joe Chavez. It's not called programming for nothing. Okay, so know this. It's the task not started that are the most tiresome. Whew. How many times in mobilizing a thought, do we find ourselves saying, man, this is a great opportunity in wealth building, man, getting paid to save. I can't wait till I get started, because when I do, I'm going to do so and so and such and such. I can't wait till I get started. Before I sign them up first, I'm going to make sure that I do X, Y, and Z and that. The more you put it off, the more fatigue it creates for you, because there's still something on your list to do. Speaking of list to do, when you make a to-do list, you know what size your to-do list should be every day? This might shock you. This is the size of my to-do list every day. That's it. I know what portion will require massive action out of me. I know what portion will require administrative work. I know what portion will require ease and instruction. Okay? Because the tasks not starting are the most tiresome. Why? Because look, even though the days are long, the years are short. So when you hear things like, don't put off for today, put up for tomorrow what you can do today, there's a lot of truth to that. But the more you add to this list, a long sheet of paper or pages you flip through, you're not going to accomplish. You're going to wear yourself out. You highlight those points in a day. You write, this one has 3 points on it, and then I made some notes on the back of it for follow-up. And then when I got to the next day, before I got to the next day, when I closed out my business, I had another one done. You see? To be ready. Make yourself ready for the revolution you seek. All right? This training and other trainings are found on our YouTube channel. please, Eric Ture Muhammad, I'm encouraging you all to go to that channel, subscribe, like, and share. You'll find some trainings. You'll find some things that I've done personally, but you'll also find the presentations from Wealth Builders Worldwide. You'll find opportunities that you can literally share with other people and add your link to it and encourage them to come to the opportunity at your behest as a guest and a friend of yours. All right. These are things, these are tools that we're trying to make available for everyone. So please, by all means, subscribe, like, and share. The previous class and session programs can also be found there on my YouTube channel, Eric Ture Muhammad. Now, here's a premiere clip about organization that I'd like to share with you in our closing. This is Baba Kwame Ture.
We will not stop. We have told you it's a fact. If you look at history, I have known no great man or no great woman that didn't belong to an organization, not one. The American capitalist system will so confuse some of us that we will actually think that we by ourselves can lead the people to their freedom. There's no such thing as Rambo or Superman. It exists only in Hollywood. Fidel Castro, as bad as he is, he needs the Communist Party of Cuba to help direct Cuba. V.I. Lenin, as rough as he is, he needed a Bolshevik party. Karl Marx was a great man, had to organize the International Working Men's Association. The Honorable Marcus Garvey saw clear and long, but he needed the Universal Negro Improvement Association of the African Community Leagues. Patrice Lumumba was a great man, he needed organization. Harriet Tubman was a rough sister, she needed organization. Rosa Parks sat down so we can get up. She needed organization. Malcolm X so loved organization that when he left the Nation of Islam, he created two organizations, the Muslim Mosque Incorporated for Muslims and the African American Organization, started after the Organization of African Unity. Everywhere you will see the need for organization. Martin Luther King was a righteous man, but even he recognized the need for the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. And while Nelson Mandela is known all over the world, he still has the African National Congress. Every brother or sister who truly seeks to advance the world must belong to an organization. This we will not stop telling you.
That's a fact. We need organization, and you need it now today, family, more than ever. More than ever. You know, why do we need it so much? Well, let me stop this share and show you another one really quick, because I want you to understand the hour in which you're in. I think I'm already there. No, sorry. Okay, I see what I'm doing. All right, I'm going to move this over. I want you to look at it. This is real time. I'm setting it up for you now. I don't want anybody being under an illusion that everything is all right in the world because we had a good conversation. This, family, is the U.S. debt clock. This is the U.S. debt clock. Now, green normally means you're growing. Black normally means that you're in a positive state. And the red normally means you're in trouble. But all of these indicators here mean you're in trouble. See, because that's the U.S. federal tax revenue. That's what you get your paycheck against. All right. So your pay was designed when employment had a fit role in society. It was designed to pay taxes to the government, to keep the government functional. It was designed to pay you enough so you can remain functional and leave a surplus for you to do things in the future. Okay. But that doesn't happen today, particularly since it's just reported this morning on Kitco that another 3.6 million people were added as first-time unemployment filers. So now you're sitting roughly at almost 32 million people claiming joblessness. All right. So what does that do to your U.S. tax revenue base? Well, you got to pay to play. Without paying, tens of thousands of dollars per second, as you see it, being depleted from the alleged growth or desired growth of government. In the red, you see growth there, but that's a growing debt. And this is constant. You have growth here in Medicaid budgetary items, the need for Medicaid. You have growth in the need for Social Security. You have growth in defense spending, $687 billion and growing by the second. And you have the lack of the ability to pay the interest on the debts. America owes more than 58 nations trillions of dollars as the world's largest borrower. Look at the dollar amount on gold. It's gone up since yesterday. Now, this isn't what you're shown because they manipulate the price to hold back on the gold rush, because gold's value is based on its scarcity as well as the labor involved in extracting it from the earth. So gold here is sitting at $20,705 per ounce. It makes your saving gold now in these small manipulated increments the best decision you can ever possibly make to determine a wealth-based future and a legacy of wealth for your families. So I want you to think on that as we close today. I appreciate the time that you afforded me in this opportunity to share. I hope you found something meaningful in it. Of course, I always hope that. And tomorrow we're back. We're back tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern. Okay. And we'll be doing it again. And you're going to have a topic and maybe an interview or two that you might be happy to see and hear. So thank you again, family. And let us all have a greater and most productive day. Income and asset producing activities. Let's go.